Willkommen zurück zur dritten Folge von The Stanley Parable. Wir haben heute einiges vor, und zwar einige Enden wollen wir heute abfrühstücken. Letztes Mal war die Folge ein bisschen ausführlicher aufgrund des Confusion Endings. Wir fangen diesmal mit einem ganz kurzen Ending an. Letztes Mal hat das nicht geklappt. Ich hoffe, diesmal klappt's. Das sogenannte Coward Ending. Das passiert, wenn man einfach nur im eigenen Büro stehen bleibt. Ich habe das letztes Mal erfolglos versucht. Ich hoffe, diesmal klappt es. Ach, nee, Moment. Krass. Nee, ich gehe jetzt hier mal raus.
Already this was uncomfortable, and Stanley decided that as soon as he found a new space he felt safe in, that he would never leave it again in his life.
Okay, das ist unerwartet. Deswegen gehe ich hier jetzt einfach mal weiter. Hier ist alles voller Papier. Dann folge ich mal dem Ganzen.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay. Das war unerwartet, deswegen eine kurzfristige Planänderung. Ich folge der Story jetzt einfach mal bis zu einer Stelle, die ihr schon kennt, und überspringe das. Und zwar unser Plan ist es, wir hatten ja letztes Mal eine Wahl, Off oder On zu nehmen bei der Mind Control Facility. Der Erzähler wollte, dass wir auf Off drücken. Wir tun aber diesmal On.
Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Off habe ich schon gedrückt. Diesmal, wie gesagt, Off On.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex.
Das ist drastisch.
How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes. Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley?
Okay.
It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going. What all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so
Wo ist die
much.
3?
You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not?
Okay, das ist nett.
These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones, or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless, to see you made humble. This is not a challenge, it's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
Und so viel dazu. Dann mal sehen, ob wir diesmal das Coward-Ending bekommen, wo wir halt einfach nur rumstehen und das Büro sich wieder schließt. Ah ja.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go anywhere except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Okay. Neustart. Dann.
The meeting room. Yes, that's where everyone would be. Stanley just needed to get to the meeting room, and from then on, he would never be alone ever again.
Ist das jetzt regulär oder ist es nicht regulär?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Hier haben wir noch irgendwas zu tun.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Wir können
Look,
einfach
Stanley,
sterben.
I think perhaps we've got... But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Sehr gut.
Stanley knew the office layout like the back of his hand. It was only a matter of time before he found the others, wherever they were. Just a matter of time.
Wir kriegen inzwischen immer andere neue Ansagen.
Wow. Yes. This room. What a beautiful room. What a gorgeous, gorgeous room. Thank goodness Stanley had taken this detour on his way to the meeting room. Life without having experienced this room was now too horrible even to consider.
Richtig. Ich mag meinen Pausenraum. Ich finde ihn großartig.
Yes, really worth it being here. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Es gibt noch was man mit dem Lift machen kann. Noch 2 Dinge sogar.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Das hier?
Oh, well, look who's got cold feet. Sorry to break it to you, Stanley, but that lift isn't coming back. You'd best either get comfortable right here on this platform, or test your luck by jumping to the floor below. You know what? Looking at it now, it's not that far to the bottom floor. I bet you can make it.
Die Tür ist zu. Ich habe auch keinen anderen Weg. Keine andere Möglichkeit, als hier runterzuspringen.
I'm sure you'll survive the jump. Don't tell me you're scared. That's not the Stanley I know. Do it! Do it! Do it! Do it! Do it! Do it! Do it!
Sagt er jetzt noch was?
Whoops. Looks like I was wrong. How clumsy of me. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Und dann gibt es natürlich noch die Möglichkeit, das Telefon zu nutzen. Das haben wir auch noch nicht gemacht. Wow. Hä? Das sieht jetzt auch anders aus, oder vertue ich mich? Der Raum ist immer noch mein Favorite. Die Adventure Line war großartig, der Raum ist immer mein Favorite. Ja.
Really worth it being here. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nein.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Es gibt noch die Möglichkeit,
Stanley, I think perhaps
hier
we've gotten off on
hinzuspringen.
the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not.
Aber das mache ich diesmal
I
nicht.
realize that investing your trust in
Mich
someone
interessierte
else can be
das
difficult,
Telefon.
but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Weißes Licht. Oha. Auch ab.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Wow.
Gotcha. Oh,
Das ist ein
come
bisschen
on.
scary.
Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Okay, das ist wirklich ein bisschen scary. Kann ich hier wegrennen?
Sorry,
Oh,
but you're in
Gott.
my story now.
Shit, das hat mich ziemlich erschreckt. Das ist scary as hell.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Okay.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby.
Das hat man noch nicht.
And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again. And then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be?
Oh.
In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons
Natürlich.
he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it. You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Das war scary und unerwartet. Und das war die Folge 3 von The Stanley Parable. Wir haben noch einige Enden offen, denen wir uns beim nächsten Mal annehmen. Wir können runtergehen, wir können den Lift verlassen. Es gibt einige andere Optionen und das seht ihr dann zur Folge 4 von The Stanley Parable. Bis dann.